Good evening. I'm Sarah Repp reporting from the SMC News Desk. Governor Laura Kelly says that Kansas plans to give thousands of meat packing plant workers their first COVID-19 vaccinations by the end of the week. Her announcement Thursday came as at least a few counties pushed back against state inoculation rules that carry the threat of having doses withheld for not complying. The vaccinations for meat packing workers began on Thursday afternoon, and Kelly said the state plans to administer the first of 2 doses to more than 12,000 of them. Meanwhile, within the past week, Sedgwick and Riley counties have been at odds with the state over moving to vaccinating people younger than the age of 65 with chronic medical conditions. A bill to lower the legal age to carry concealed firearms in Kansas from 21 to 18 has won a final passage in the Kansas House. The bill's support came mostly from Republicans who say that these under 21 are eligible to vote and serve in the military. People as young as 18 can already openly carry firearms in Kansas, and the legislation would require those under 21 to complete a background check and undergo safety training to carry concealed firearms, which is currently required for those 21 and older. The State House approved the bill on Thursday with an 85-38 vote, sending it to the Senate. A proposal to let nurse practitioners do their jobs without signing contracts with doctors has stalled in the Kansas House. The Kansas Advanced Practice Nurse Association says the bill is being blocked by Republican Representative Brenda Landwehr of Wichita. She chairs the House Health Committee, and the Nurses Association says she's refusing to allow a vote on the proposal. Landwehr didn't reply to repeated requests for an interview. Half of U.S. states let nurse practitioners work without permission from a physician, but doctors say patients are safer when doctors remain in control. The National Academy of Medicine and public health experts are questioning these claims because they don't bear out in research. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly says the state is morally obligated to pay for enhanced summer programs and other remedial education to make up for classroom time lost this school year. Kansas students began returning to the classroom this semester for the first time in months, some for the first time since the schools closed last March. Kelly said the state should fund any programs needed for students to catch up. I'm optimistic that we will get enough funding from the federal government that'll allow us to do the enhanced learning in a way that will really make a difference, said Kelly. The governor said the enhanced summer programs could include more weeks of school, extended hours, or intensive summer programs. The Kansas House has unanimously passed a bill that would require the Kansas State Department of Education to send students starting in the 7th grade information about college costs and the average wages for graduates with various degrees. The legislation passed by the House on Thursday would also require the department to distribute employment and wage information for those with technical educations and those in each branch of the military. The board expressed support for the bill in written testimony, and the bill now goes to the Senate. Conservative Republican lawmakers argue that Kansas shouldn't be able to shut down businesses during an emergency like the coronavirus pandemic. Their comments on Wednesday came as the GOP-controlled legislature considered how far to go in restricting a governor's power in future emergencies. The Kansas House gave first-round approval on a voice vote bill that would require governors to confer with the state's attorney general and get legislative leaders' approval before issuing executive orders during a state of emergency. Some conservative Republicans wanted to go farther and ban business closures or even restrictions, but acknowledged that Democratic Governor Laura Kelly would never sign such a legislation. The Kansas Senate has approved a proposal from its top Republican to require all of the state's public school districts to offer in-person classes to all students by March 26. Senate President Ty Matterson is pushing the matter with the number of new COVID-19 cases being lower than they have been in months. Masterson and other Republicans argue that many students don't fare well academically or emotionally with online learning and need to get back into classrooms. The Senate's 26-12 vote on Wednesday sends the measure to the House. Kansas isn't one of the world's most active tornado regions, but the state saw a historically low number of tornadoes last year. Kansas averages 86 tornadoes per year, and the total of 17 twisters in 2020 was far below the average. Meteorologists at the National Weather Service in Dodge City say they expect a more active severe weather season this spring. The weather experts say that atmospheric conditions will be particularly ripe for producing severe storms in the eastern three-quarters of Kansas, where there is more moisture in the air. The Weather Service is warning Kansans to prepare a plan of action to stay safe when the first tornado warning arrives. A school district in North Dapeca is considering changing its name, which it got from a former Ku Klux Klan leader. The Seaman School District announced it will begin exploring the name change at its board meeting later this month. The move comes nearly 5 months after a student journalist at Seaman High School discovered that the school's namesake, Fred Seaman, was a local Klan leader in the 1920s. Seaman students have gathered for a peaceful protest and collected nearly 40,000 signatures in an online petition that calls for the renaming of the school. Seaman School Board President James Adams said this week that he will recommend the formation of a task force to make a recommendation on the name. The task force will include students, staff, parents, community businesses, and civic organizations. The school board, which represents a district of more than 4,000 students, will meet to discuss the name on March 15th. The Rolling Hills Zoo said the following on their Facebook page. There's a new Joey ready to make the appearance at Rolling Hills Zoo. You heard it right. A new baby wallaby has been spotted sticking his or her head out of mama's pouch. While this is our first sighting of this wallaby, it's now about 6 or 7 months old. At this age, a joey is starting to poke their head out and respond to stimuli around them. The joey is just furring up now and should start venturing out of its pouch in time for spring break. Even after a joey leaves its pouch, it often returns to jump in when danger approaches. And the joeys are born there the size of a grape, and immediately after birth, the joey will crawl into its mother pouch and stay there to continue developing while being nourished by the mother's milk. It takes about 6 months for them to see, grow ears and hair, and walk or waddle on their own. The mother of this joey is Marge, and the father is Barley. This is Marge's second joey, and her first was Martha, who is a part of the mob, a group of wallabies, and can be seen out in the yard. The other wallabies are quite interested in this new young joey, and he or she is very curious about its surroundings. Now for a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight is mostly clear with a low around 36 degrees. Saturday is sunny with a high near 70. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 42. Sunday is sunny with a high near 68. Sunday night is mostly clear with a low around 44 degrees, and Monday is mostly sunny with a high near 69 degrees and breezy. Monday night is partly cloudy with a low around 52 degrees and also breezy. I'm Sarah Repp reporting from the SMC News Desk, wishing you a good evening.